Kansas is in a rare position. The four-peat is something that has never been done before in college football. And this Kansas team can be on top of that mountain by themselves. But to get there, they're going to have to win some big games with a lot of new faces. This Kansas team isn't like what they have had in the last few years. They're a young team waiting to be led. Can Kansas get the playoffs and win another national title and put themselves on top of the record books?
Welcome to 688 The Bull, Kansas Jayhawk football press conference with Kansas head coach Slacker Gaming. Coach, with most of the starters leaving, are you looking for younger guys to step up, or are you still looking for your veterans to lead?
I think with any team, you have to have veterans to lead your team. Young guys don't understand that coming in. There's a big difference leading a group of high schoolers compared to a group of college guys. There's a lot more off-field stuff. I mean, you show up for classes, whereas in like high school, you're kind of just, you go to school and that's it. In college, you got to show up to classes on time. You got to participate. You got to do all that stuff. You got to hold each other accountable. There's just a bunch of different things in college that's just different about leading a group of guys and everyone being on the same page. But some of them will catch on and show some leadership this year. We have plenty of veterans still on the team that will keep us moving in the right direction.
You had a pretty good off-season recruiting, bringing in top recruiting class again, something you've done well here at Kansas. What should we expect for the new faces in the program?
We have been through this before. Every year we get new faces, whether it be in recruiting or transfers. So that's really nothing new. What we expect is that when whoever shows up, they're ready to get to work and get prepared for the season and kind of buy into that winning mentality and the family mentality. And when we go out and recruit and look for transfers, that's something that's really important for us, trying to get guys to land on this team that can do that and add to it.
Speaking of transfers, you were able to get the number one tight end in the transfer portal from New Mexico State. Do you think he will fit in the role left behind by Lawrence?
I don't think anyone can ever fill that role. Lawrence was special, still is special, one of a kind player. So I don't want to have those expectations for anyone on our team. We're excited for Braylon to get here, but I don't expect him to be like Lawrence. He's a different type of player. He plays different, and so I can't say that he's going to fill those shoes because I don't know if those shoes could ever be filled because they're just too different of players.
Always like playing some great teams early to kind of test your team. This year is going to be week 2 versus Arizona and week 3 versus Florida, both top 10 teams. With this young team, are you scared that this could be a nightmare instead of a learning experience?
I think we have to prepare our team for whoever we play. We chose to play these teams because as a coaching staff, we think this will benefit us later in the season. We also added in LSU in week 11 to try to compare us around midway through the Big 12 play, which is kind of new. Usually when we play our mid game, it's usually against like a rival or something like that, but we wanted to add in somebody to see kind of where we are mid-season. So that's kind of exciting to see, and we'll see what happens from that and see if we can learn from it.
You're still picked as number 1 in the country and number 1 to finish in the Big 12. Do you feel like the target is on your back early?
Someone has to be number 1 to start the season. I think we've earned a seat at the table. So now it's up to us to make sure we come prepared every week to make sure we don't get tripped up. But being number 1 is always a good thing. I mean, I feel like at this point, everyone's just giving us their all, no matter what, no matter if we're 1, 2, or 3. I mean, everyone wants to beat that top 5 team. So if we're still a top 5 team, then that means good things are still happening.
Thank you, Coach. Kansas will begin the season next week versus number 11 Arizona at home in Lawrence. The young, exciting new bunch of guys will be tested early in the season, and we will find out early just how good this team will be. This is 688 The Bull, Kansas Jayhawk Football Radio. We will see you guys next week.